Hey, SEGways! I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, Most Haunted. This was a TV show I did actually watch back in the day. American shows like Ghost Hunter and Ghost Adventures passed me by, but Most Haunted certainly didn't. I remember it being a big deal when it first aired back in 2002, and at that time, I had never seen anything quite like it. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm not so sure if I really believed it back in the day. I was a lot younger and a lot more naive, but I still think there was something about the show that didn't quite sit right with me. More than likely, it would be down to Acorah's silly antics.
I knew it. I just knew it. We've got trouble here.
But we'll get all into that later in the video. I picked an early episode of Most Haunted all the way back to season 6, because back then I really did enjoy the cast. So let's watch Most Haunted at the London Dungeons, and not the cheesy overpriced tourist trap, which in all honesty guys, if any of you are going to go visit London, avoid that place. The same goes for the London Bridge Experience, which is just across the road from the London Dungeons. Both of them are utter shite.
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted.
I just think it's funny that Yvette is waiting at that doorway until the camera appears from behind the wall. God knows how many takes she's done and how long she has to wait in that spot.
Now, if this little piggy doesn't roll the goddamn camera, I'm gonna put my foot up his...
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. This week we've brought you to the Clerkenwell House of Detention in London, where over 10,000 men, women and children were incarcerated each year.
Finally.
Feelings are so intense here that investigations have had to be halted. Camera crews have left before the filming is finished. We have no such options. We're locked in for 24 hours.
Bloody hell, this is so cheesy.
What a place of terror and torment this is. It was the scene of many people being incarcerated in here for a long period of time until it eventually became a house of detention.
This here is Richard Felix. He was with Most Haunted for the first 6 seasons, and he was great. But the producers of the show, or just Yvette, made the wise decision to not have an historian, even though pretty much every single episode of Most Haunted delves into the history of the location. From what I hear, today, Mr. Richard Felix doesn't have many kind words to say about Most Haunted.
And that's why I had to go. Because I couldn't cope with the fact that when a door slams shut and everybody screams and you jump on the sofa, it was a ghost. But there's every possibility, folks, it wasn't. It's much more likely that someone left the window open and it's a windy night and it blew the door shut. Anyway...
Then it's no wonder that dark, ghostly figures have been seen wandering these labyrinth of tunnels. Children's cries have also been heard echoing through the dark corridors, and one phantom likes to lock in unsuspecting visitors by simply bolting the door.
Being a house of detention, there'd be an awful lot of women prostitutes that were brought off the streets and imprisoned.
Bullshit.
The ghost of an old woman has been seen in here, as if searching frantically for something. Also, the sounds of footsteps and the cries of a child have been heard.
What's she staring at? Alright, you get the point. Lots of claims of paranormal activity due to its dark and disturbing past. Let's skip ahead.
So Phil, why do you think this horrible, cold, damp place is worthy of an investigation?
Well, there have been prisons on this site for over 300 years. They were damp, they were smelly, they were disgusting places to be in. Usually the prisoners were treated brutally. Maybe their fears and emotions of being in a place like this have actually imprinted themselves on the very fabric of the building itself.
Not saying I agree with any of that bollocks, but until the day that science can back up any of these paranormal theories with any kind of proof, I'm just going to treat all of this as wishy-washy nonsense. But I can understand why places like this would be a strong candidate for paranormal activity. Lots of death, lots of suffering, and lots of dark history. However, on a psychological level, being that this place is so generally unpleasant to be around, it looks cramped and uncomfortable, it probably smells weird, it wouldn't be much of a reach to say that this would have an effect on your senses and psyche. I'm sure somewhere like this would play tricks on your mind.
Outside it was getting dark, and inside certain members of our crew were already starting to experience strange noises.
Man, that is fucked up.
I was shooting some GVs, some general things, just text on walls, and I could hear the shuffling of somebody's feet. I just heard that kind of a noise, and it was coming from that corridor down there, or the next room. And I was standing there at the time, and I ran in here, and I was yelling down there saying, "Is anybody down there? Because I can hear you." And nobody was down there. And there is nobody down there. But I swear on my life I heard people's footsteps.
I want to believe this. The problem is, most haunted have been caught lying and exaggerating their paranormal claims so often that it's hard to trust anyone who works for them.
You do look shaken, actually. Oh, I am. I'm completely scared shitless. Sorry.
This is how your average Brit handles being scared. Up next, they introduce the real star of Most Haunted's early years, the late Derek Acorah. I made a video on Derek a few months ago where he attempted to contact the spirit of Michael Jackson in a Sky One live seance broadcast. And it really was every bit as insane and uncomfortable as you'd expect.
He wants you to know, as his fans, that he's going very, very close to his beloved children.
So I know the kind of shenanigans we're in store here for later in the video when Derek takes centre stage.
You let yourself be known. Who is he, Sam? Is he a cohort?
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
Derek Acorah, our spiritualist medium, was aware he was going to be spending 24 hours in a location somewhere in London, but he had no idea exactly where.
Lies, lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
What sort of things instantly, because this is the first part, are you actually picking up?
Well, I'm picking up so much residual energy, Evie, so much and layers of this. And, you know, the moment I walked through the doors...
I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spin.
Also, I get this woman screaming and shouting down here.
That'll be a premonition of Yvette for later in the episode.
Oh, I'm getting the impressions of this man again. He came earlier. Oh, you, oh, you, oh, you, oh, you, oh, you. He's about 5 foot, when he was in the physical body, about no taller than 5'4".
That would probably have been about average height back then.
Very thin, gaunt, horrible sort of personality.
Was it Seth Borden?
He's probably one of the few active spirits that comes. His name's Jack.
Jack shit.
Jack.
Jack, okay. He was hung. Jack Shepherd. Jack Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. What about the little girl?
Derek has now passed on, so I don't want to go too hard on him. Derek doing his research and then passing this off as some sort of clairvoyance is more funny to me than anything else. All the names he brings up are known, documented people that were incarcerated or involved in the jail.
This little light-haired girl, she's not. She comes back in visitation because she was imprisoned. Little child imprisoned here.
Oh, no.
She was imprisoned here.
Why? Do we know why?
Because her mother was.
Anyone familiar with my channel already knows my stance on psychic mediums. Bullshit! But when they are as goofy and theatrical as Derek, it's somehow even more unbelievable.
Confrontation!
But, to be fair, these goofy theatrics is what got Derek the spot on the TV show Most Haunted. He made a ton of money out of making himself look like a helmet.
Confrontation!
Her mother was. She stole her mother. Who? Give me it again. Her mother is Elizabeth.
Nobody likes you.
Not listening. Not listening. That I come in, please, and they can hear the sounds outside. Bang! Bang! And the explosions. And this goes way forward. It's like as if this is like World War, is that? World War II. Here.
This is when Derek's bullshit goes from funny to tasteless. Many of London's underground tunnels were used as air raid shelters in World War II during the Blitz, so Derek uncovering this is nothing special or unique, especially when he more than likely had a researcher look into this for him before the cameras turned on. Many people lost their lives during the Blitz, and most of them would have been women, children and the elderly since the men were fighting in the war. So for Derek to pretend that he can see them and experience their trauma is just so gross to me.
Can we move on? Because Sam said to me we must go further because there's things that have got to be talked about.
What's interesting is if we find this prison today, it's now become a sort of art gallery or a venue for hire for your own events. You can see that the way they have marketed this is not of that or something that's supposed to be scary. In fact, they even make the effort right here to say,
"This venue will not accept the following: warehouse rave parties, loud music events, late evening events, or scare horror themed events."
And you better believe that includes paranormal investigating. So I don't know, does this prove that it's not haunted? That you can no longer do any ghost hunting in this former prison? And the new owners don't seem to want to lean into anything involving the paranormal. Make of that what you will.
Now, as we enter this area, there's a horrible, horrible stench. Here, there is the evidence, spiritual and psychic evidence of an old lady.
By spiritual and psychic evidence, Derek just means the bollocks spewing out of his mouth.
And also taking the lives of almost innocent people. And the wretchedness of this is bringing her back into this atmosphere time and time again. And, you know, she's through her anxieties and her frustrations. She's tried to show herself so many times to physical people when they've been down here.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
See if you can get the name of this lady. Alice Armitage. Alice Armitage. Alice Mary Armitage.
Back in the 2000s, people actually used to believe Derek. Let that sink in for a moment.
Why? Why?
She was born in 1602.
Okay, that's a wrap. Was kind of shit, but we'll fix it in post. Derek, drop the act, mate. Time for lunch.
There is activity galore here. This place here is so active at times. It's like as if we get a group of them, the visiting spirits and this individual who's the negative one. They all collectively come into this atmosphere here. When I first walked in here, I just wanted to retch. Because I'm picking up their thoughts as these despicable things were happening to them. These poor wretched souls.
Poor unfortunate souls.
This man had in his nature the sordid way, and it was, I feel, sexual, possibly with females and what have you. It could have been rape, something like this. It was, it was rape upon rape.
Bloody hell, they didn't mess around back in the mid-noughties.
It's absolutely despicable.
Well, you made it up, Derek.
He's here, all right.
Oh my God.
That son of a gun, he's here.
Oh, scary. Oh, shiver my timbers. Shut up, man.
Show yourself, you. Can you feel?
Oh God, it's so much colder in here.
God. Okay.
Fuck. Did you hear that? Did you feel that? Did you feel it?
Did you hear something or feel something, Yvette? Make your mind up.
Jesus Christ, did you feel that?
Yes. Okay. Oh, he doesn't like it at all. He's not happy with us being here.
It was like it was underneath.
Okay.
It was like it was underneath the floor.
Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
It's like Derek and Yvette are fighting for the spotlight. Derek isn't giving Yvette the opportunity to go on about the noise or vibration or whatever it is under the flooring, but whatever.
And these two Irishmen, were housed here, and they knew what was going to happen. Bang! 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 And a big explosion. Boom! It blew more than we thought it would.
I can't take this.
Say it again. I can't hear you properly. You're the evil one, are you? He's telling us to go. He's telling us to go.
I'm on Team Evil One.
Well, we're not going.
No, we're not.
No.
No, we're not, are we?
No, we're not going.
No.
You're joking.
Yeah. He's telling us to go.
No.
Go because he's going to... go because he's going to hurt us.
Well, I can't.
That's his word. He can't, Ivy. He can't.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
He's going to...
Go on, just say it. It's all right. Just say it. It's all right.
No, I can't do it.
You can. It's all right. Go on, just say it. Does it put me on my guard then?
Derek described to us exactly what this entity wanted to do to me and the rest of the female members of the crew. So graphic were his descriptions, we couldn't broadcast them.
Let's call this for what it is. Derek must have a very disturbing imagination, since he's clearly making all this nonsense up.
This person, his name's Michael. Michael.
Michael is so dumb.
Do you filth. You're a filth. You filth of the earth. You still stain and stink the earth with your evil thoughts, you horrible soul.
What an eccentric performance.
Michael! Are you? Where are you? I can hear your voice, you beggar.
Are you for real? Is he for real?
Then you cannot harm the women folk or any of us men. You have not got the capabilities, you dirtball.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
He's here. He's here. Yeah, there he is. Where he is. There he is. He's holding his hands like this.
I'm so glad Derek dragged the cameraman all around that place just for them to film another brick wall.
You cannot harm any of us on this. You filth. Did they hang you, did they? Is that what they did to you? They hung this one, this filth. They hung him. And they had every reason to hang you, you filth.
So, does this mean Derek supported death by hanging?
Try and break away from it for a minute. Come away.
Wave his hand there.
Is Derek going for an X-Filed Mulder thing here? Does that make Yvette Scully?
Right.
What the hell am I looking at?
Horror. Come kill him.
It was at this point in the investigation that we had to cut the sound. Derek had begun to describe some of the disgusting and barbaric acts that he thought Michael had carried out on his victims. So strong were these images in Derek's mind that we had to stop filming.
Funny, when Derek spits out the full names of the known people who died or incarcerated in the jail, most haunted provide footnotes. But for this Michael fella, no footnotes. Nothing to prove he ever existed. Also, most haunted decide to beep out this Michael fella's surname.
Derek picked up on a name that does have connections with the prison, but out of respect for any surviving members of his family, we have covered his surname.
Even though Michael would have been alive hundreds of years ago. So that in and of itself doesn't make any sense to me. As far as I'm concerned, Michael is a figment of Derek's dark imagination.
I've never come across this before, ever.
I just lost my soul with this here. You've got Sam, he hasn't got Sam. You've got Sam.
Remember when Derek said these dark entities can't hurt him or anyone else? Guess saying that isn't exciting enough for TV.
Here with you. I know we're not spiritually aware as you are, but we are all physically here. We can get through it together if you want to go back in. But if you don't want to go back in, then that's fair enough.
So would Derek be able to carry on with the investigation and blank out the disturbing images that were affecting him so much?
Yes.
And would the most haunted crew make it through the night?
Yes.
With some time away from the house of detention, Derek felt he could carry on with the investigation.
What a shocker! Where there is attention to be had, a psychic medium won't be far behind.
Who are you? Who are you? You let yourself be known. Who is he, Sam? Is he a cohort of that Michael? He is.
It's always a fine line for me with these mediums between finding them funny, getting pissed off with their more gross claims, and then just finding them really boring. I'm at the last 16 minutes of the episode and Derek's antics are getting on my tits now.
He's blanked in my concentration. And he's stopping my communication with Sam. Oh my
How can
God.
you do that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've not come across this before.
Derek needs to level up to overpower this spirit. Quick, Derek, work on your charisma. Please, God, work on your charisma.
And then we'll come and meet him. Whoa.
Hey, you. Christ.
You're all right. Cross your head. Yeah.
What is it?
What did he do? What did he do, Carl?
Run.
I mean, we're going to get this now.
What did he do, sweetheart?
It's like a razor cut across my...
You joking?
Yeah.
A razor cut, you say? Well, I doubt Carl Beattie, husband of Yvette and most haunted producer, would go as far as to cut his own face. So, let's see the damage this ghost did to you, Carl.
You see, the thing is, you put this into what he's done.
There's bumps there.
And you feel it.
A bump? Carl just said it felt like a fucking razor blade. What razor blade attacks gives you a bump? Let me guess. A paranormal razor blade. That's got to be the most blunt shave ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's got you across there, yeah.
No, it's not bleeding.
It was barely even a scratch.
Now that bullshit, I can believe is self-inflicted.
Well, just while we were standing there doing that interview, I didn't say anything because Derek was in full swing, but I could have sworn somebody was choking me. I just felt this right in there. It's horrible. Seriously thought somebody was choking me. I was getting all like lightheaded.
I felt like someone was choking me out, but since Derek was doing his scene, I didn't want to bother him. It's only oxygen anyway.
We've got two people here, two spirits separate to Michael. We've got a Joseph and we've got a Richard. They both left the earth plane, the physical life, in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were known to each other.
Go on, Derek, you can do it. Don't take your foot off the bullshit pedal just yet.
But they both knew Michael.
Yes.
Did they help him?
Are they going to set you? They're helping him.
They're helping him now, or they helped him when he was in the physical?
They're helping him now. They're coming to a threesome. I knew it. I just knew it. We got trouble here.
I should never have doubted him. Derek was amazing at this shit. I know I've been a bit mean to Derek, and some might not like this since he is dead and all, but sorry to say, the guy was an out-and-out con man. And I think making fun out of his psychic medium claims is still fair game.
Do you realise how much I love you, Michael?
I feel from your sincerity of love. It is paramount to me to receive that love. I love you also.
I love you more, Michael.
That's fucked up.
These two are coming back to help him. He's grounded, but they come back because of their kinship.
Mm-hmm. Which one of you idiots wrote this script?
These three are responsible for this.
This was certainly a place where we could lose our heads.
Ugh, more like lose your brain cells.
We had to get things in perspective and try to be rational.
That's what the kids call epic fail.
Derek has told us that, there are 3 spirits in here who are basically evil. They are nasty, nasty spirits. Of course, everybody's going to be like...
There's definitely something in there. You can hear it. I mean, it's making sounds.
We already know that there was another group in the dungeons. We saw them earlier, and I would imagine the sound travels quite a lot down there. It would echo all over the place since it's so cavernous.
If that was to be dug out, this is where people who were not even tried, who were cut to ribbons by this evil thing, were centered and thrown down, because that goes around and through the area that's been blocked off.
Right.
I'll take things that never happened for 1,000, Alex.
But if this was to be exposed and dug out and what have you, they'd find the passageway that goes behind the walls and what have you, with, and I mean literally hundreds and hundreds
Bodies.
of bodies.
I'm guessing this is a heritage protected site, and Derek would know full well that there is no way any digging on this site would be allowed to disturb the foundations. So he can just make up whatever nonsense he wants without having to provide any proof.
Joseph, Richard, these two are caught in the web of the power of this person's mind, so to speak, mind.
With all due respect, what the fuck are you talking about?
It will be interesting to see in the future if and when the ground beneath the jail is ever cleared, will human remains be found of the poor victims who were supposed to have been thrown down the pit all those years ago.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too, but I highly doubt it will ever happen. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the video now, and finally, we're getting introduced to my favourite part, where Dr. Kieran O'Keefe gives his analysis on what he believes happened down there. Dr. Kieran O'Keefe is a parapsychologist who I kind of forgot was on the Most Haunted show back in the day, but I got reintroduced to him in a very big way through the Danny Robin podcasts. All of them are fantastic, by the way. And on the podcast, he offers his expertise on why he believes a lot of these paranormal claims can be explained through psychological means.
Derek's behaviour here is what we would call clairsentient. Here he's very, very much getting into the emotions and the fear and anger and all these different very, very high emotions. And he's maybe got an ability that's a clairsentient ability.
I thought this was filmed in the mid-2000s, not 1984.
The moment where we saw Carl get a scratch above his eye, I found that very interesting, but my immediate reaction was to first jump for a natural explanation, which could be insects.
You're being too kind here, mate. If by insect you mean Carl's fingernail, then yeah, sure.
Our stay will never be forgotten.
Until the next time, sleep tight.
Well, this was a mixed bag for me. Some of it was funny, some of it was infuriating, and some of it was just flat out tedious. There is no doubt how influential Most Haunted has been in the field of ghost hunting on both YouTube and TV. Unfortunately, I think it's also influenced a lot of the fakery that we see today as well. I do believe Most Haunted faked their paranormal activity, and there are a lot of videos out there of people catching them out. Derek is a clear as day bullshit artist, and the fact that the whole show is revolving around him and what he says is pretty laughable. So tell me in the comments your thoughts about Most Haunted. If you enjoyed my video, please like and subscribe to the Side Eye Guy channel. Ta very much, cheerio!